Renee.
Is that Kevin Costner?
Yeah, it's Kevin.
It's like the coolest thing ever.
Good morning.
So there's you're talking to Renee and me, Greg and Mike.
Okay.
Kevin, I've been literally just going off about you for the last half hour.
Yes.
I'm a big fan, but today we want to talk to you about your country music band. You guys are playing up in Napa, the Napa Valley Performing Arts Center, August 9th, Modern West.
That's right.
So we were just listening to your band, and although No Name just there described it as country, it feels more Americana to me. Or would you? How?
I think so.
Yeah. Is that how you?
I mean, it's not surprising. I make cowboy movies that there was a Western lilt to some of it, but we don't think of ourselves that way. We're pretty nimble as a band, so we wrote a concept record about Hatfield and McCoys, and then we'll do just straight out rock and roll. But I'm not, we don't think of ourselves as a country band, but you can't change impressions out there on some level. But we just play pretty loud. That's what we do.
And Kevin, I know you've been in this band now almost a decade, but where your musical origins come from?
I would guess just the '60s, if you think about it. The amount of music that was just being thrown at us at that time. Lyrics are important to us, melodies. So we're pretty structured in how we write. But I was influenced all the way along, and I've got my kids, and I end up listening to what they're listening to. So I don't know. The truth of all of it is that I like our music, but whenever I hear somebody else's, I think their music is better. So that's just the way it is, unless you're just a narcissistic person,
And Kevin, I got to ask. I know you're from South Central Los Angeles. Grew up in the Compton area. That's known for its hip hop. Did you ever try to claim straight out of Compton?
No, but my folks are from Oklahoma, so you can understand, kind of where I've come from. But no, it really, Motown. I mean, we all love Motown, and so that was a big influence on me also.
Do you find that your fame as a movie star has helped or hindered your music career?
Well, you kind of have to explain stuff at first, that's for sure. And I know a lot of times when I'm playing out there, I see women out in the audience. That's good, and the men standing next to them usually have their arms crossed because they're kind of waiting. They're kind of waiting to see what's going to really happen. And then once we hit that big A chord and we start playing really loud, everybody gets very comfortable very quick. So, I don't run away from the movies. Most of these songs were written while I was making the movies you might have been talking about. So, it's just a part of, my own kind of personal journey, if you will.
We're talking to Kevin Costner, his band Modern West. They're going to be playing in Napa on August 9th. Kevin, I wanted to ask you, you mentioned listening to your kids' music. What of your kids' music are you into?
Well, it's not that I am. I kind of play and I go, oh, it doesn't always work for me. I don't know. They're just, I've got a 5-year-old and I've got a 31-year-old, so you can understand, that I've listened to Frozen quite a bit lately.
Yeah. Kevin, I got an 8-year-old at home, and just some advice: never let them Google the words dubstep.
So listen, we exchange. My daughter actually is a singer-songwriter out of Nashville. My son is a recording engineer and writes music. So we just exchange a lot. So my daughter sings with us sometimes.
It's funny. Jeff Bridges' daughter lives here locally in Oakland, and she's about to be part of our big local scene month. So I guess you guys, it's a common trait among you actors.
Well, I don't know. You kind of watch what your dad does, and if you like it, you do. They've all had a chance to go into acting if they wanted, but they, none of them chose to. But Lily wrote some songs on "Famous for Killing Each Other," which is a concept record we did about Hatfield and McCoys, and she's just really good. It's pretty neat to look to your left on stage and there's your daughter. I mean, I've been at the Grand Ole Opry 3 times now, and she sang with me once there, and that's just a really great feeling. I mean, when they're little, you're helping mouth the words to Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, right? Hoping they get it right, put their fingers up, and are the right antlers when they're, when you're out in the audience, you're just constantly trying to help them, and you just got to avoid doing that. when you're playing a professional gig.
This is a ridiculous hypothetical question, but if you had to choose between like Elvis Presley, Beatles fame in the music world versus the fame you have and the success, I should say success and not fame, the success you've had as a movie star, which would it be?
Well, I love the hours of rock and roll. Okay, I hate getting up early to go direct or act or do that kind of thing. But movies have taken me around the world, and I've been able to play out so many different kind of realities. So really a difficult one to choose. I don't like the hours of movies though.
Okay. Of course, well, you're known for so many movies, but I think of your sports movies a lot. And given that you're from Los Angeles, you're not a Dodgers fan, are you?
Oh, I am. Yeah.
Really?
Wow! Did that just break something between us? Is that what happened?
Well, having said that, though,
I know you're up in that area. I was on the radio when I think I was 7, 8 years old, and I hear Vin Scully go, and Marshall just hit Roseboro in the head with a bat. So I don't know if you guys remember that, but I grew up with Koufax and Drysdale and that whole thing, and the complete hatred of the Giants. Yeah. But Giants have been a team that's been really easy to root for. Really enjoyed so many players that have played there.
Oh, look at you! You're a good sport. Hey, are you a wine person or a foodie? I was nearly called you a wino, but no, are you into when you're in Yountville? Are you going to go into the French Laundry?
Yeah, I'm not that at all. I happened to spend time up there last year with a film I did called Black or White. And so I was in the Napa Valley and got an appreciation for it. But no, I'm a little more basic than that. I mean, I've always felt like I was on the outside of the wine crew.
Okay. Well, we look forward to seeing the band and Kevin Costner on August 9th in Yountville.
It's at the Napa Valley Performing Arts Center at Lincoln Theater. So go support. That's August 9th. And it says here the show's at 3:00.
That's right. Yeah, that didn't bother me either.
Oh, so those are the rock and roll hours you're talking about.
There you go. Yeah, that's that kind of barbecue rock and roll or something.
And Kevin, when can we see you next on the big screen?
I don't know what's going to happen. I'm angling pretty hard to make a Western. I made a movie where I'm kind of killing a lot of people called Criminal. So I go back and forth between trying to do the quote-unquote thoughtful movie and then stuff where you get to go, ring some bells. And so, my kids never know what I'm going to be doing. And they go, what are you doing this time? And I said, well, I'm a criminal. And they go, what does that mean? I go, well, it means I'm kind of not trustworthy. And so, I'm not sure if the title's going to change on that, but, I do appreciate the people going to the movies all these years, and I appreciate the fact that they come out and watch the music. Because like I said, most of these songs were written on the sets. So
that's cool.
I don't separate it. I hope people come. Like I said, we're going to play loud and long, and Napa's a great part of the world. I mean, when you're there, you actually understand where you're at in the world. It's so distinct.
Beautiful. This has been a real pleasure. Kevin Costner, thanks so much, and go Giants.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Go back to your dog pictures.
Yeah, that's me. Sorry. Thank you, Kevin.
Bye.